I haven't yet
You s-
uploaded last week's game because of the audio difficulties. So
And you're saying ours moved too.
yes, yours moves too. So not only are you getting my audio, you're also getting your audio as opposed to nobody's audio for 2/3 of last game. I will somehow find time to uh, get that straightened out. I'm just not sure when. And I have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, so um,
Neither have I,
you don't have to worry
alas.
about. Yeah, there was a game attempt to try to squeeze it in on Sunday, but it did not happen. So um, anyway, neither here nor there. All right. At least you guys don't have to worry about being spoiled by me in any case. Although I've heard wonderful things, so I'm excited.
Hmm.
All right. So when we last left our heroes, it was considerably. It was a little bit more than exactly 7 days ago because we got started late, and I apologize for that. Uh, the wound between the Sepiaverse and no, the future Sepiaverse,
The alt future
the
Sepiverse.
alternate future Sepiaverse, the AFS. That wound was closed through the combined efforts of Charlotte and her older, emaciated, wasted counterpart, as well as JC, the current Grail Knight in that timeline, now in her 30s. Old Jason, old bastard Jason, had been roundly beaten upon, and I haven't read it yet, Dave, because it does not allow for a skimming. It demands
Sorry about that.
no, it's fine. I'm just saying it demands a proper read, and I haven't been able to give it that, so I just refuse to just kind of once over it. But
I'll say the only thing that I think really matters for us is that we know what first words that older Jason needs to hear when he wakes up.
yes. So older Jason have been trounced upon by a combination of Leo and some sort of Jason manifestation. Um, I did read one line. It's like, damn it, I was an asshole when I was a teenager, um, which was pretty funny. So that was the thing. Jason got trundled back to the base. Sable Star. There was a bit of a showdown, and she tried to escape in some wily fashion. And rather than escaping in a wily fashion, she escaped in a whatever, dude, I don't even care about you fashion, as Concord simply dismissed her, I think, to a certain extent, or said whatever. And she said, we'll have to try this again another time. And he just said, the hell with it. Oh, and Harry and, well, actually, Harry and Charlotte and Alicia, but I would say primarily Harry and Alicia sort of primarily attracted the ire of Dr. Infinity's drone, and by extension, then a little bit later, Dr. Infinity proper.
But it's okay, because she's going to be going after Hecate instead.
No, that was the previous lie. That was the lie from like several months ago.
It's altogether possible there's still a Hecate floating around in the alt future Sepiverse.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, that information that you gave about Hecate was months ago in your actual timeline, the questioning and whatnot. So, um, although a headache certainly, um, maybe not the immediate. Well, we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, Doctor Infinity is certainly on the radar now with a lot of, you know, where's Prisoner Zero type of
Nice.
question.
Question.
Yes.
Actually, along those lines, the memories that Alicia now annoyingly has
Uh-huh.
about
All that.
about all of that. What state was the starfish in?
Damaged, I think. So it actually, because that was after. Wait. Yeah, because you called out the whole, hey, Dr. Infinity's here, top that after you dropped the building on that thing, yeah? Is that right?
Yes.
So yeah, damaged in the same basic condition as it was when it was first chasing you and Harry. So the linear timeline, if such a thing can be said to exist, at least for it, would seem to be encounter you, ask a couple of questions, get building dropped on head, time jump through Alicia's timeline at various points, chase after Alicia and Harry, detect something is happening to the wound, if not exactly how or who, arrive there, trade. I feel like there's some sort of. I feel like in some video game at some point in time there's been some sort of like controller move where you could teleport to where one of your minions was at. But it was a limited teleport because you could only go where your minions were at. But in some way, shape, or form, Dr. Infinity actually just sort of swapped places with the drone for a moment and glared at the lot of you. Before you warped away. The glare was sort of the last thing we did before we sort of jumped forward a bit in time, not literally, but just in terms of camera time, and everybody was back at the base and sort of licking their wounds. So I believe, and then we didn't get this in on camera necessarily, but we did have a scene, as I have it, again, have not read, will read, a scene between Alicia and Leo, where she was expecting it to be the celebration and triumph, and it ended up being the share of vulnerability, and the scene where she was expecting to be share of vulnerability with Arya, and it ended up being share of triumph, and a double helping of comfort and support. All during,
which has done wonders for her condition. So
I can only imagine. So yeah, that's
so there's that.
There's that happening. So yeah. Go ahead.
So I was going to say I have to ask on behalf of Ghost Girl, since we're now jumped ahead to being at the base. What happened to Alt Future Ghost Girl? Because last we left her, it was like kind of feebly reaching up to lend strength to the sealing of the wound, and then that was the last we saw of her in the scene.
My assumption was that she was brought back to home for some value of home, to be reunited with Harry, older Harry, kind of just get back with all of her other cohort, so to speak. So she is convalescing. She is still material, so she's probably convalescing on a med bed of some flavor, with about an IV and several other things going, that kind of thing. Iced tea. And that's where. So she's around. Harry the Elder is around. Bot is still in virtual with Numa, which would be this current timelines Arya, and everyone else is basically back where you'd figure they would be. Out of the lot of them, I would say probably we'll call him Mercury, but bearded Mercury is probably in the best shape of the whole thing. But I mean, he was sort of trapped in a virtual motion trap for years, so he could do with a lie down as well. So we can certainly address Ghost Girl in terms of like to just kind of get that out of the way because it's probably the least amount of thing. But what was she looking for in terms of like what I need to familiarize me with the moves and stuff.
Well, if she's doing a team move and she kind of I think wanted to do a triumphant celebration of some sort. So whether
Does
that's
she have any? So what is that?
bring,
What does that move look like on her? What is the description?
when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, clear one condition if they treat you like a perfectly normal person, and mark potential if they praise your power or abilities.
Okay, sorry. Say that one more time.
When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, clear one condition if they treat you like a perfectly normal person, and
Okay.
mark potential if they praise your power or abilities.
Okay, so you can. I see. So it really comes down to who is she? Who is she choosing to celebrate this achievement with?
I'll just note that doing Leo's triumphant move on Ghost Girl was on my checklist. So
Okay.
if she doesn't have anybody in mind, I'll do
Right.
it.
Because I mean, obviously, if it's a PC, then it's really okay. So here's what Charlotte's achieved, and it's up to you guys really. And if it's an NPC, I need to just kind of think about that so I can think about which way they're going to kind of emphasize that. Which of those sort of angles they're going to approach with her. So that may be a question then to kick back to Margie real quick to find out like who would that be with specifically. I mean, it could be with I mean everybody can be kind of like going, hey, this worked, yay, hooray us, but the actual specific this is a thing that does a thing interaction needs to be kind of pointed at a person. You know what I'm saying?
I can ping her. I don't know if I will get a response anytime soon, but
Okay, yeah. And was she going to do? Is it kind of one? No, it's not one or the other. Was she going to do the vulnerability thing or no?
um,
You can ask her that
she
too.
might, but probably but it would probably need to be with someone different. I think just kind of reading the move.
Right. Yeah. No,
Um,
for sure.
and actually, I think she said there was a special version of that for the variation of the book that she's using, which means I should probably come over to her computer
Yeah.
and look at her session of Roll20, which she's left open all week.
Give me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna AFK for just a second. I need to respond to a text message here real quick, and I will be right back with you guys. But I'm gonna take my headphones off so I can actually focus enough to get it done quickly.
Oh. Um. Does somebody have at hand that write-up for the supernatural outsider?
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Okay. Because the team moves as written in Margie's sheet here actually truncate in the middle of the second team move.
The outsider moves for Ghost Post that I made, which is where that is, which is what you're thinking of, didn't make any changes to any of the team moves. So
Really?
if she's done anything to change those, then that's all her.
Okay. Well, it's got a different. Let's see. Team move. When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, take influence over them if you show them meaningful affection, physical or emotional.
Yep, that's the outsider. That's the outsider move.
What was the team? What was the character? What was the sheet I was looking at over here that James handed me saying, "This is Mom's." That was a transformed. Ha! Well, that would explain it. Okay, I can find maybe the outsider sheet over here.
Let's see.
I've pasted the team
Here
moves
it is.
into roll.
I found it. Okay. Share vulnerability or weakness with someone. They tell you what you should do to fit in more. Take +1 forward to do it and mark potential if you do. Okay. There, I've done my good deed for the day. So I can actually take the thing here back over with me. Okay, regarding the preference for sharing a triumph with anyone in particular, she responded, "I thought that Bill or Mike had an idea."
I did, yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go with that idea.
Okay. So rather than talking back and forth, I can outline what Leo had in mind. Since the Ponies AMA, Leo has been looking at Charlotte as not necessarily a rival, but for bull purposes, a rival. Somebody who is doing what he's doing, which is getting out in front and taking action, and sometimes going off and kind of doing her own thing. So he's been looking at her as someone who not necessarily has to be reined in, but needs to be followed more closely. And he's going to reaffirm like that relationship, but he also wants to let her know that he's very happy that she took other people along with her this time, and it sounds like it was a big success, even if a lot of chaos happened over there. That was kind of expected. So he's looking at her now, knowing what he knows about himself, that he's about to step away from the team as good leadership material, and he's going to kind of subtly play her up as you could do this all the time.
I like it.
So in terms of, I think the question was, do you treat them as a normal person or do you praise their power?
No, that's the transformed. That's the one that turns out. For the outsider, it's when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, take influence over them if you show them meaningful affection, physical or emotional. They decide if it's meaningful.
Okay, yeah. So
which is something that she kind of really has to do versus something that you have to do aside from deciding whether it's meaningful.
No, that's totally fair. I would call what Leo is demonstrating emotional affection. He's certainly happy that things turned out this way, and he thinks that she's doing good work.
You know, I think she in return kind of is, you've been, y'all been very patient and supportive of me while I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for. You've been a real friend, and I very much appreciate that.
Leo's happy to hear that. That's his reward.
Is it meaningful? Was it meaningful affection?
They decide if it's meaningful.
You decide. When you, as the player, share a triumphant celebration with someone, take influence over them. If you show them meaningful affection, physical or emotional, they decide if it's meaningful. So Leo has to decide whether she's expressing meaningful affection.
I would say yes. I'm sorry, I misread the move because it's on my screen here as well. I would say definitely, because that's being supportive is what he's all about, and I think that hit where he wants to be at as a person. So yes.
Great. So that would give her influence over you.
3 out of 5 labels shifted are locked. Do your
do your worst.
Do your worst. And of course, she already has influence. So, and I'm going to be good and not refer to any notes about that. So I'm going to say, let me write it down first to make sure I've got the right idea here.
Doesn't matter what you say; it's always minus freak with me. So just.
I'm going to say plus mundane and minus superior.
Both are locked.
There you go.
Okay. Did you guys? Thank you for. So was that Charlotte doing her thing with Leo? Was that what I got?
Yeah, Charlotte doing her Leo. Yeah, Charlotte doing her moment of triumph with Leo, which turned out to be not at all what I told you because I was handed the wrong playbook. But we resolved it and that worked out. And so for what you were doing, Leo, was that you're sharing a moment of triumph?
Yeah, that was my version of the move is let me read this off. God damn it. When you share a triumphant celebration, make them your lover rival immediately to mark potential. If they're already your lover rival, which she is, take influence over them and mark potential.
Okay.
So I have influence already.
I will trot over to Ghost Girl's character sheet. Okay. So if you have influence already, then
plus mundane minus freak, and it's in Roll20 chat as well.
Okay. Those are not locked, so plus mundane minus freak.
And that was my 5th point of potential. I can now graduate to Paragon status.
Woo!
With my last major act being hitting Jason in the face.
No, It was being supportive to sharing a celebration and being supportive to Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte, I hit Jason in the face.
And they both high five.
Oh dear. Well, I suppose you did what you had to do.
I really didn't. I could have left it alone, but his face was right there. Let me tell you.
In another timeline and in the past, Jason's going, God, these aches and pains that come from nowhere, I just don't understand it.
I like the fact that Jason is his own voodoo doll. Like you're actually like you don't actually have a voodoo doll. People are like sort of slapping you an imaginary effigy and it still works. The whole universe is your voodoo doll. All right. Let's talk other triumphant moves or other stuff. Alicia sort of did hers off screen.
I think I've done my triumphant moves.
Yes. Concord?
So Concord is gonna share his moment of triumph with JC.
Really? Okay.
Because I think that will give a nice inroad for him to interact with the Grail Knights when they go back to their own time.
Yeah, interesting. Because yes, and also in a weird way, yeah, it'll be an interesting thing that he'll have that connection, although JC won't. Like, yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so what's this look like? Because you guys weren't necessarily in the same place, same time kind of thing.
Oh no, I think it's like Concord like waiting around the sides until JC has got a moment free and then going up to her and just being like, hey, so I just got this sword and I don't really know what to do with it. Is there anything you can show me with it?
You're Concord, right? Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember you. I guess you didn't leave in your timeline?
Oh no, remember, we've already met. She almost stabbed me with her sword earlier.
Right, no, it's just, I feel like I didn't really make proper introductions before. You got a sword? I thought you just kind of made stuff.
It's weird.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. A lot of my stuff is weird too.
On a side note, I also ran off the other Starfield bastard, so
Oh, really? Huh.
So I don't think she's going to be causing much trouble here anymore. Hopefully.
I wonder where she's going to be causing trouble.
On the other end of a wormhole with no actual destination locked in?
That doesn't sound like a place I'd want to go in a big hurry.
She did.
Huh. Well, I guess anywhere but here. I can kind of understand that. Okay, yeah, so what do you want me to... I mean, I can show you some stuff, and she kind of does a sort of like, almost like weighted dagger up the sleeve kind of motion, and the whole sword's kind of there. What do you want me to show you? Just sword stuff? Like how to hit things or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
let's find a place. I mean, now it's a little bit interesting because I don't know if you've really interacted with her on the other timeline, but she's older. She's in her mid-30s. And
Adam has never met JC before,
right? So she's just yeah. Okay, so she pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much basic sword forms type of stuff, high block, low block stuff. She goes, a lot of this you just got to deal with the fact that the thing is as light as you expect it to be, and sometimes it helps when it's heavier, and you can kind of use that. But there's a few other things, and she's got you going through. This is after a while, she got you going through high block, low block, you block, you attack, I'll block, this kind of thing, and she does. But there's a couple things that you can kind of be aware of and know that we can do, I think, or maybe I just need to show you how to do it. That I have an option for that a typical person with a sword like this wouldn't be able to do. And what she does is she meets like one of your swings with a block, and as soon as the momentum is stopped, the sword goes away. So the pressure that you had where you were like against this thing and that was bracing you and you were kind of like pressing against that, it's just gone. And as it's going away, it's reappearing in her other hand as she's turning. So you're kind of stumbling past and it's already like in her left hand and coming around like towards your back. She stops, obviously, but the fact that you can just kind of have it be wherever you want it to be, because she kind of like brings it kind of over sort of towards like the back of your neck kind of thing. I mean, you can't do that with a normal sword. You definitely can't do it with a sword this size, but really anything. So there's kind of almost some knife fighting tricks that you can use with this big thing. And so it's really cool that you've got this amazing sword, but remember, it's not really a sword. It's what you want it to be. That's where the trick is. That's the thing that makes it not what you expect. Some people get really stuck on the symbolism of a thing or what the thing is looking like rather than what it really is at the heart of it. And they forget and they'll make a mistake that they wouldn't have made if they remembered that it's just, and she kind of does a sort of poofing motion with her hands and the sword just kind of mists and goes away. You got it? You get that? I can hit you with it a couple more times to, kind of drive the point home.
Adam's probably like, yeah, maybe, possibly.
Cool. All right. Well, no, so tell me, I don't know if anything that I just did even remotely lines up with your triumphant celebration thing. So what does that actually look like, and see if we can evolve it kind of that direction if it needs to, or if we just hit it by accident.
Well, when you share a moment of celebration with somebody, ask them if there's any fear in their eyes when they look at you. So I figure the closest that might be is like Concord with energy sword.
So kind of looking like.
Does the idea of Concord having an energy sword frighten her?
In the sense of like this is like the weapon that Sable Star used.
Or, Concord's a danger to himself and others.
Sure. She's more likely to associate that with the person who looks like you and used that weapon and that sort of thing. But honestly, she sort of categorized it that way. But the fact that how do you react to what she's showing you? Like, what is his approach to what she's, to how, just the practice, the drilling, these little kind of tricks that she shows you with this thing. Like, how does Concord behave in this thing?
Well, he's definitely going to give it his best shot. I imagine having, let's face it, 90% of what Adam does is not at all physical. So the fact that now he's actually having to do stuff probably means that half of his own anxiety is getting in his way.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, she's kind of working him to the point where, like, really with the drills and stuff like that, where it's just hard work to the point where you stop, like you're sweating too much to worry about being anxious about the whole thing. Kind of get you out of your own head a little bit, which is really the purpose of the drills in the first place in any of these kinds of situations. Is to, start. She goes, you're going to have to work on this a lot more to get the muscle memory, because this is, unless it's just a prop that you're going to wave around, you're going to have to work on some muscle memory and stuff like that. But you can do that. This is the basics. If you're going, find somebody who can show you more once you get home and work on it some more. You're still plenty young to pick up the stuff that to be able to pick up the stuff that you need to pick up, or at least you look young. I guess I don't know, but you can still, you've still got years where you can train in and build that muscle memory. I've seen people start a lot later than you, so you should But there isn't any. There's initially caution, but she had kind of overcome that a little bit anyway, and just she's a pretty good teacher, and she's just a good trainer. And we saw that really in some of the sort of, I want to say, real world fiction kind of stuff that you guys were doing with that Bill had given us with her training our current armiger. She's a good trainer, and she's good at getting people to work past their get out of their own damn head and get out of their own way and work. And once you react to that, respond to that, you're pretty much just another person that she's working with and stuff, and you're listening, and she gets to show off a little bit and do the cool trick, and she's grinning when she does that, and it's there's not any fear in her eyes. So what does that mean for you? There isn't any fear in her eyes. So what's that mean for you?
If they say no, take +1 forward and mark potential.
All right, there you go. +1 forward and mark potential. And
Also,
yes.
I screwed up a little bit last time too, because I had forgotten that I actually. So when I beat Sable Star,
Yep.
I actually got potential for that as well because of Game Face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Because that was your
So-
kind of goal.
Yeah, so instead of marking potential for at the end of session move, I was just going to use that to clear a condition. Because I
Okay.
kind of want to slow down with some of the potential a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think so. Okay, cool. So potential here, unless there's some other option you'd rather take, but I think it's kind of your only one in this case.
They grow up so fast.
They grow up so fast. I mean, Concord, as the youngest, has always been the one that amuses me the most because, like, he's the first one with an adult move. I think the first person who used a moment of truth. All that stuff has always been kind of funny to me. Harry. And this doesn't have to be necessarily triumph or share a vulnerability or anything like that. It could be I need a moment with my alternate self. Any of that kind of stuff. So what have you got on your to-do plate? He said, mixing metaphors like they're in a blender. Did Harry fall asleep?
No, I'm awake.
Thinking.
I was
You're
just
thinking.
rude. I forgot that my alternate future self was here.
Yeah. That's okay. Think about it for a second.
And then I have another thing I need to do with Charlotte at
Yeah.
some point.
Okay.
You can do that if you want.
Okay. You think about it then, James, and tell me the Charlotte thing.
Actually, I've been thinking of doing this with Harry, but I could actually, now that you mention Harry talking with his alternate, I can see if is the alt future Sepia Charlotte actually
Yeah. she's
awake and
around.
aware?
Yeah. Weak. And older Harry's been kind of spending a lot of time with her and kind of just being there, hanging out, being the bedside present, occasionally, murmured conversations, that kind of thing.
Charlotte will go in to wherever she is with a refill of the sweet tea, albeit it's from some horrid powder that they've got
Yes.
in kind of molding crates in some back chamber of this base, and say to alt future Harry, might I have a few moments with to myself, so to speak.
and Harry, of course, will. Yeah, I'm gonna go see if they've got any derived, like some supplies in storage. I've been kind of looking for. He's gonna go look for chips. See
He's
if
going to
there's-
go look for chips.
He's gonna go look for chips.
It's a shame that Harry isn't into Twinkies, because those could still be perfectly good somewhere in some back crate, in some sealed chamber. Charlotte asks her older self how she's feeling. Polite chit chat.
Unspeakably tired and grateful and relieved and ashamed, embarrassed, horrified. It's a bit of a buffet.
I understand. There have been times when things I've done have seemed like some of the things you did have seemed both amazing and so useful to stuff that needs to happen, but then it's difficult to talk about to others, and kind of embarrassing and horrified and ashamed, and those other things that you said. How
It got away from me. It got well away from me. And I think I got away from me far enough ahead of that I didn't realize what was happening, or I didn't want to. So that's what you must be aware of, because when you have so many people, and here Charlotte of course knows that when she's saying people, she's really talking about the spirits, but really any people. When you have so many people looking to you for direction, you can easily be swept up in the wave of their own momentum and become something that you never intended.
become part of the mob rather than
Yeah,
their leader.
yeah, exactly. And that's after that, it's nothing but it's chaos, it's pandemonium.
Ooh. I saw what you did there.
Yeah, did you? Good. Thank God, because it's the only clever thing I'm going to manage tonight.
You got to post it up on the side of the monitor and say, "Must bring in pandemonium."
Let's bring in
take that down.
pandemonium. Yeah.
So how can I maintain my purpose when there are all those people who are wanting me to tell them what to do?
I don't know that I could ever not do what I know is the thing that needs doing. And I don't know, without help, and I'm afraid I was too terrifying to get that help in my case, but without help, I don't know that I could avoid the same pitfalls that I found myself swept up into this time. This is, well, back in the old days, when it was very early on, I had a conversation with Numa, and we talked about choices, and she had some sort of scientific phrase that she had for it. N equals 1 universe. I didn't really, what she was meaning to say was that we only ever get the one chance in our time. We don't ever get to go back and find out what would have happened if we'd done it differently. I suppose you get that opportunity to a certain extent because you got to see my terrible failing, and you might have another opportunity yourself to do it differently. But we never do. We can't do it for ourselves. We don't get to go back and change it. It's only ever that one choice. So just do the best you can, and don't do what I did.
We can't change what we've done, but we can learn from it and do better the next time the opportunity arises.
I think I spent too much time figuring out what I had been made for. Instead of accepting what I was called to by my own self, my own nature. I conflated the two, confused the two, and by the time I might have realized that one wasn't the other, it was too late. We came into being through a series of very strange events by people, entities really, that are beyond even now my comprehension. And I spent a great deal of time figuring out how those two puzzle pieces came together to result in me. And after great time, I'm doing this. After great time and pain and confusion and suffering, both to me and at my hands, I've come to the final conclusion that, frankly, Charlotte, I don't give a damn. And I only wish that I had realized that sooner. Or as some old friends that I haven't seen in a very long time might have said, you do you, girl. Ah, dead ponies. They're still with us. Dead ghost future ponies.
So Charlotte will pat her hand and pour her more iced tea, and when she shares a vulnerability or weakness with someone, they tell you what you should do to fit in more. Take +1 forward to do it, and mark potential if you do.
I think that her advice, if you wanted to boil it down, then is that if had she to do it over, which she doesn't, it would be, worry less about whatever the fate is, and just, follow your heart, as opposed to follow your, express original purpose that somebody else dropped on you. And suddenly I'm thinking, what is that? Oh, the movie, was it Fridays, where the postman kept poking his head in ringing the doorbell and leaning around the door going, message, whenever anybody was doing this. No, maybe I don't remember the movie, but anyway,
all I know is that sounds a lot like the internal contemplations that Alicia keeps having. So
yeah,
it works well working with.
It works well in lots of.
Charlotte, another person created to purpose.
Yeah.
Wait, are you trying to say that we have an overarching theme and that many of our characters actually fit within the same paradigm, much like Leo and his father?
What? Teens learning to follow their heart rather than what their elders have intended for them? God, who'd have thought it?
Message. Anyway. Ding dong. Message.
Trope much?
What is that movie? I think it is Fridays. I got AFK for just a second here while I kick somebody to bed. I will be right back.
Leo's story arc is cute robot girlfriends. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
That's true. That's
Honestly,
actually,
you really
presumably
couldn't
that's a
ask.
rebellion against Rossum, who, as far as we know, didn't create cute robot girlfriends, and maybe would have been a more relaxed guy if he had.
That's all accurate.
I've got a cute robot girlfriend for you, and a cute robot girlfriend for you, cute robot girlfriend for everybody.
So when he comes around and is like, "Here, Alicia Chin,"
I've got a cute robot girlfriend for you.
you'll be like, "No, that's okay." Like you thought that you thought that like the Chin and Rossum families didn't get along for like ideological reasons. No, this was it. This was because Alicia went back and was like, "Dad," and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll get that guy for you."
So, Bill, at what point do you start telling that alternate universe story?
What do you mean alternate universe? That's really how it works. I don't know. I we'll see. James, did you find what you're looking for on the wiki and/or in the forums?
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent. And actually, I guess while Doyce is off, I can ask you guys: do you want to hear Leo's send off tonight, or do you want to wait 2 weeks?
Depending on where the session ends, that might be like a good wrap up.
I mean, for us it'll be 3 weeks straight, right?
3 weeks.
Well, we're not waiting for 3 weeks because we're gonna miss the next 2 weeks, so it would be the third week that we'd be there.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to duck away again. Yeah. This week we're here. Next 2 weeks they're out, and one of those I'll be out. So next week it'll be basically. I'm not going to say Leo. I'm going to say Bill and Concord. And I'm
Well,
gonna.
that's what Bill was just raising, whether this would be the send off this week or in 2 weeks. And my only hesitation in not saying this week, because it seems like a perfect one for it, is that Margie's not here for it. But
Well, I mean,
if the story drives it, do what the story drives.
If
And she
there's
will certainly understand.
if there's a moment of overlap, I say a moment. If there's a session of overlap in which, Summer has been getting played for a session, and then we have a week off, and then Summer's back, and Margie's, and everybody's back, and Charlotte wants to go hunt down Leo to say something. It's not like he's going to vanish. He's going to be around doing stuff. So we will just have Bill play
we
Leo.
said that about Jason too.
Yeah, but Jason actually.
Once he was gone, it was just like, oh damn it, Jason.
There was
be warned, Bill.
There was an unplanned.
They turn on you immediately.
There was an unplanned series of circumstances where in addition to switching off Jason, we also kind of blew up the high school. Um, I say as a Buffy reference, not as an actual, but we kind of blew up the conversation pit, which meant that not only was Jason kind of not immediately active, but also it wasn't where you guys were hanging out, so you weren't running into him. It wasn't intentional.
Also, there's been no brakes on this train
No.
for quite some time.
No. That's been particularly rough, certainly. So, yeah. But I mean, yeah. Bill, what? I mean, are there major send-offs, or is this more of a, you know, less? Is it less of a fanfare thing?
There's nothing really significant. Like it could wait. So
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
don't know
just
if
do
it's
it.
a big thing as much as just, well, I think we maybe. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have this image in my head of like, you know, the call goes out, you know, after Summer's been kind of doing a little bit of stuff, and the call goes out, and you know, you guys are in the midst of testing out a little bit more of, you know, Summer's like a new kind
Oh
of
no, no, no.
body or something like that, and
There's
Leo's
a
just
very specific reason why Leo will step away. I got that. I
okay.
got that right.
Yeah, because I just had this thing in my head of like, there's a moment where she's like, okay, well, we can finish this up later. He's like, no, you go. I'm fine here. And just like, so, like, I'm just not going now. It's your turn. Like, I'm just, you know, kind of just having that be kind of this soda. But that's, again, that's just my head canon. I'm waiting for the actual, I'm waiting for the actual new season to see what happens. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. So that was Ghost. We still haven't gotten to Harry. So let's talk Harry.
Ha.
Ha.
Um.
So there's triumphant celebration moves. There's vulnerability moves. Or there's just I want to talk to my alternate self, or slap bot, or play checkers with Vector really really fast or something. I don't know.
No, I was going to talk to my alternate self and kind of try to work in a vulnerability.
So what's the vulnerability move look like for the legacy? What's the text on that?
When you share vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them a secret about your legacy, including your true feelings about it, to clear a condition and give them influence over you.
This is really weirdly reflective given who you're doing this with. So you find Mercury.
Can I have chips in my hand?
Yeah, so he's like digging through like a couple of storage closets and stuff like that. And like you kind of walk up and like rattle the bag, and he's like turns around and he looks at you, is like, oh thank God. And you know, comes over, zoom, like actually kind of just speeds over. His use of speed is really, I don't want to say constant, but it's almost part of every move with him at this point. It doesn't have with it though the accompanying like the annoying CW like rush of papers kind of thing. He just kind you know, it kind of it's actually a lot more like sort of almost Quicksilver in the better Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, where it's just kind of blur stop, but it's not like disrupting everything around it kind of deal. So he
Yeah.
kind of just woof, and he's there, and woof, and he's someplace else, and woof, and he's, you know, he doesn't even seem to be thinking about it, and maybe that's him being stuck in a speed cage for mumble years or something. It would exhaust you in short order, or at least at some point, and he doesn't even seem to. Far from exhausting him, he doesn't even seem to realize he's doing it. Exactly. So usually, if I bring somebody chips, it's because I'm planning on talking to them about something. He says, munching chips. So what's up? You guys heading back soon?
Yeah, probably. Some of us have school to get back to.
Oh, so despite living in the high-tech hellscape, um, not envying you. So there's that. Uh, so yeah, school to get back to. What's I mean, so this really, you guys are really not that far past everything that went. I mean, I'm gonna say everything went bad. Like that all seemed like it kind of happened right around Christmas. What time is it where you guys are?
Where are we now?
January 15th.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrifying.
So it's just been like, what, a month?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can give you much advice. We kind of screwed everything up before, and you guys dodged the stuff that screwed us up really bad, but I mean,
Yeah.
is it all going okay?
Yeah, it's going good. And
How?
things seem to be looking up here too. I saw you talking with Charlotte.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for, dealing with that. It was, I guess it helped having some people there. It was something. It was a lot to take in all at once by yourself. How's mom and dad? Are they good?
Um,
They got through the Christmas thing okay?
yeah, Dad ended up with
You can see him kind of tense when you say dad and kind of pause, like he's expecting it to be bad.
Dad was in the hospital for a long time.
Like a long time for regular people or a long time for us?
For him.
Oh, still like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But he's okay?
He's getting better.
What about Chase?
Yeah, he's still
You can actually see him kind of relax, and he seemed relaxed, but now you realize there was still a lot of tension there that he hadn't quite. Yeah, they kind of all, mom and dad were gone at Christmas, and Chase went like, a couple weeks later. That's good. It's good, and everyone's still getting along okay. Everyone's still. They haven't driven you crazy yet.
Yeah, no.
What?
Not for lack of trying sometimes, but
How's it? I mean, are they still? Wait a minute. Did you figure out phasing yet?
yes.
Awesome.
I know.
I didn't figure it out until after, like, I didn't. You know what's more frustrating than being the one person in the family who doesn't know how to phase? Figuring it out and not having anybody left to tell. So.
Well, that trumps mine of Concord phased before I did.
What do you mean?
We.
Oh, you got his body? Or he got yours? Yeah. That is not how it worked for me. Oh. Yeah. It was Charlotte. Though, that same thing happened, but I figured it was because she was a ghost. Oh. No, I got Charlotte. That's kind of why, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think things are turning around. I think we can do some stuff with, I mean, now it's just Rook, right? We beat Rook all the time. We just have to do it again. And, we got Jason tied up here, so we can always come back and just slap him whenever we get frustrated. That can't be a bad thing. So you kind of said like you were gonna, I'm leaving the door open here, kind of a little bit, asking about the family and that kind of thing to kind of open up the door about talking about your legacy or the family or whatever. I don't know if that's the
Oh,
direction you were wanting Harry to go with that, but
no, I had been angling more for like the stuff in the sepia verse and running away and that fear.
uh, you know, and we can definitely go there. So we'll just skip back just a little bit. We were talking about that. It's by the time that happened, everyone was gone. It was just, and I had gone there to try to find Charlotte because it just seemed like, I mean, Leo wasn't really Leo anymore, or didn't think he was. Vector's fine, but he wasn't us. Everything went wrong with Concord, and he was gone. Jason was, well, Jason. And, I mean, I went there to try to find Charlotte so that we could at least, be the two of us, and well, you saw what she was. I don't know if it was, I don't think, maybe it was because it was a gigantic freaking typhoon of ghosts, but I don't know that that's what was scary, except for the fact that it meant it was just me. And it was always after that, it was just going to be me. And I just wanted to figure out something where it wouldn't have to be, or I didn't want to deal with the fact that it was, because in that, I mean, it was like 1 year where it was Mom, Dad, Chase, Grandma Swift had like a triple heart attack or something, and everyone was gone, and then we were gone, and that was the worst part. I think is just maybe you'll be different. I hope parts of it are, because I'm not that happy with how things worked out for me, but I don't know if we're that good without other people. I mean, we're still fast, and we're still, all of this, but I don't know. I don't think I'd ever want to be solo. It's just, it's not, is that who we are? I don't think it's who we are.
No.
I think we need them. I think we need those goofballs.
Yeah, I mean, for all the chips that we give them,
they give us emotional chips in return. The Doritos of the Doritos of the heart. No, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, first of all, I would probably avoid the beard thing. I don't think this is a good look on me. Would be getting rid of this really soon. Second point, protect those morons, because when they're gone, we're kind of terrible. And that is the only advice I trust myself to give at this point.
You cut off there at
Oh,
the
did
end.
I? Well, no. The last thing I said was that's the only advice I trust myself to give at this point. Is don't grow a beard, and protect those, protect these morons because they're the only, once they're gone, we're no good. He says morons affectionately, with love. So, this is the looking at the, when you talk to somebody about your legacy. This guy's his take on the legacy is that it's really about the team. You're a team player kind of thing. So how is that vulnerability move actually kind of phrased? What's it like?
When you share vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them a secret about your legacy, and then stuff.
Well, I don't know about the secret thing, I guess, unless you got something you want to drop on them. But what's the actions to take thereafter when they do what? When they do what?
Clear condition and give them influence over you.
So I guess to open this up, he says this thing what he thinks. I want to hear what sort of Harry's thought or confession or something about himself or something. I think that's probably where it kind of be like he kind of opened up his bit. So how does Harry kind of react to that?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fear for family going away since everyone's kind of in the business. Dangerous, or fear for my friends, and I think especially with us being able to go so fast, it's easy to run away from that fear. But
yeah, I mean, I kind of proved that myself, so.
I think it's also important to remember that they're still here. There's still someone.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Even if everyone's gone, there's still people out there who need our help.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I guess that's what I should be doing right now, huh?
I mean, you did have a umpteen-year break. Now you're here slacking off, eating chips.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll get to work then. Are you going to get to work when you get back? I mean, what's your big What's your big scariest thing you got to worry about when you get back?
I have a date.
Sorry, what?
I don't know how it happened.
Who do you have a date with?
With Andy.
And he kind of like squints. He's like, the flyer that can like punch through a wall? Seriously? How? When? And he kind of punches your shoulder. He's like, dude! Wait, who asked who out?
It's a blur.
You seriously don't know, do you?
It's a blur of pain.
Oh,
I was an idiot.
We are so pathetic. All right. Right. I'm going to save the blasted dystopian wasteland with my barely functional heroic friends, and you have to go back and have a date. And I think you drew the short straw. So, good job. And seriously, good luck. That's kind of awesome.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right. And it's like, do we hug? I guess. Yeah, we can hug.
Don't crush the chips.
Yeah, hold those other way.
I mean,
That's awesome.
we can do whatever we put our mind to.
Is that? Did you say that was clear? Wait, yeah. Don't crush the chips. That's what you're gonna put your mind to. Was that clear condition or your game potential? I don't remember.
Clear condition,
And he gets
he
influence.
gets influence.
Yeah, you get
which-
influence over yourself. That's
Shocking.
Weirdly. Actually, he's an adult. Technically, he already has influence over you. So.
Yeah.
So, he is actually going to shift your labels. You don't have anything locked, do you?
I do. I have Savior locked.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. You gotta check.
Oh, that's what you needed to do to do it. Okay.
You check it so it's locked.
I wasn't sure. I had it written down on my sheet.
He is going to. He is going to raise your mundane and lower your danger. Because he's telling you got this for this like social interaction thing with Andy. So mundane up, I'll click it. Mundane up, danger down. Because honestly, there's no point in having your danger up if you're going up against Andy because she'll kick your ass either way. So it doesn't really matter. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Since he already had influence. Okay. All right. So somewhere I keep seeing you guys doing stuff over here. I'm missing things over here. Forum search. Mike, this is such a weird game. So true, man.
Hey,
So true.
If you reject influence over yourself, does that mean you can't shift your own labels anymore?
No. Oh yeah. This does make. I mean, I think we have clearly demonstrated that there's probably some playability in the innocent playbook. I mean, because we're kind of half of us are playing it right now. All right.
Actually, what I think has been demonstrated is that Alicia really is even more glad
that she didn't run into
that she
herself.
didn't run into her alt self.
I think
and Adam's in that same boat.
his self would have been very.
I would rather have remembered Saul as he was, not as who he would have been.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a hot mess of bad there in this timeline. I had a move. Maybe this was it. Alicia. Wait. No, you didn't do the time travel thing. Never mind. That's you guys getting back. All right. So, okay. Now, okay. Are we all square? Well, we should probably get bot back up out of the virtual, right? I think. Okay, so you guys everyone's kind of around and sort of quietly socializing and sort of saying but not really saying, we probably should get going pretty soon. And Leo and Alicia kind of, well, I should say, Bot kind of catches your guys's, and he's just dressed in regular civvies at this point. He kind of, actually, no, it wouldn't be. Vector, who's still kind of in at least the lower half of the suit, his suit, because something with his legs, kind of catches you guys' eye and motions you and Otto to kind of, you know, come on, like, hey, without drawing a big attention to everybody. And if you do come, kind of leads you guys down to the I guess the med lab, the creche, wherever it was that, whatever you want to call this space where Numa was at. Assuming you come with, it's, he stays, Vector kind of stays just walking kind of far enough ahead that he's just like, no, I'm just supposed to bring you, like, he doesn't really want to engage in, conversation necessarily about it. He goes, don't worry, it's okay. And when you walk in, Numa is sitting up on like the table, bed thing, and Bot Leo is like just walking up to her, bringing her like a glass of water, and she takes it and she kind of smiles and he kind of smiles, and for just that, they're older. I mean, she's not, but he obviously is. Weathered. For some reason, I'm reminded of the guy from that the replicants find in, like just the extra aged version of the guy that replicants find in the original Blade Runner. But anyway, these much more weathered stuff. But in that moment when she kind of looks up and gives him that little thank you smile, and he smiles back, it Arya actually kind of whispers like, now I see the resemblance. Like right then when he smiles. And unless you so Leo, do you want to say something, or do we want to leave it with all of you guys kind of grinning stupidly at each other?
I think as long as Bot is doing the right thing, Leo's okay. He does have one question for Bot before we leave.
Yeah.
Which is basically like, hey, if you ever wanted a chance to tell your 17-year-old self a life lesson, now's the time. But Bot has a decision in front of him that can really only be made once older Jason wakes up. So we'll put that off until that happens.
that might be fiction that we do elsewhere.
And that won't affect our Leo in any way either. So
honestly, advice I could give you, no, I want you to give me advice. And honestly, I think you gave me the best advice that you could have, which is that this, and he taps his forehead, isn't us. And I don't know. I would love to be able to say that being messed with made me not figure that out, but I think I don't know. I'm not I don't know if it's really I don't know if we're making new people. I don't know if that's what I did with Numa. And I don't know if that's what you, or Otto, but mostly Numa is what I'm thinking of. I don't know if that's what I did. I feel like I took part of me and put it in to them and they became a whole person, but that still left me missing a thing. So I'm never really totally me without them. Or maybe that's just an excuse. I don't know. I'm better when she's here. I'm more me when she's here. I'm dumber when she's not. Don't ever
No, that's all accurate.
Don't ever let yourself get dumb. Don't ever let anybody else make you dumb. And I don't mean Jason. I mean them. But you know that. I mean, you know all this. You got. Yeah, I don't have advice for you. I couldn't possibly be that big of a hypocrite. Thank you. You saved us. And I thought maybe your stuff would save us, and it was actually just you. So thank you.
Well, you did something for me. We're going to take 20 years and see if it pans out, though. So, yeah.
Really?
Phoenix, we'll find out.
Oh shit, you left some of it here?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to make me go find the damn thing, aren't you? All right. All right, now I got something to do. I had something else to do. Huh. And he's just grinning. He's just like, he's got this, like, I mean, I don't know if Leah would even recognize it as something in the mirror, but Arya definitely would. You know, kind of a thing. So even if he doesn't get the thing straightened out with Jason, that is something he can do. That he actually kind of halfway believes he can do. Which is befriend Phoenix.
All Leo needed to do was light the fire again, and it's going to keep going.
Phoenix comparisons rife throughout all that. Okay. With that done, I'm ready to send everybody back home. After only one session in the future. 7. Was it 7? 6? Something like that.
So are we good? I really want to see that Alicia Jason confrontation, but if that happens on forums, I'm personally okay with that too.
Alicia old Jason?
Yeah.
Yes, because old Jason has to wake up. Old Jason, as impacted by
New Jason.
young Jason, needs to wake up to hear Alicia say, "Hello, hero." And complete with like basically probably back scrambling and falling off the far side of the cot or conference room table or whatever he's sat on.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a scene that you were angling for.
Oh well, that's because you didn't read any of the forum stuff.
It's been a very bad week for that. I
can't disagree with you.
All right. So the shot there is his eyes like blearily opening, and the blur kind of slowly coming into focus. And as it finally comes into focus, then the hello hero thing. And having been saddled with young Jason's patched memories and stuff like that, his immediate gut reaction is in fact to scramble backwards, because all of the Alicia is dangerous, my God, what's she gonna do stuff is not years in the past, but immediately fresh and confusing and wrapped up in a lot of really now even more inappropriate emotions.
Yes.
So he basically throws himself off of whatever medical table he's on, scrambling backwards, and then like extends his arm out with the clawed hand, kind of like ugh, and nothing happens, and he ugh, and ugh, and there's no nanite reaction.
Jason, it's okay. That happens to a lot of geniuses over 30. Don't feel bad.
Anyway, no, it's okay.
We can shift that. We can shift that to forum stuff, but we did want to get it out there in as a moment on the record.
So yeah, we'll have him say something like, "What do you want?" and then we'll cut to Alicia, walking out of the room with a smirk a little bit later, and you can fill in the stuff in between. So, all right. Actually, I need to figure out something about this with Concord, because I think this may be a really good way to kind of get Summer up to merge speed with everybody. So very meta level discussion here. I would like to bring people forward, somewhat slightly forward of where they left. So like, it's not like the world has melted down and it's been 2 years or something like that, but I'm thinking like a couple of weeks, just because of slippage. Happens to a lot of geniuses.
You mean both Alicia and I missed our dates?
What I mean,
Or we had our dates, but they're in the past now, so we need to think about what they were and write about them.
No. I mean, I actually want to jump you guys. I don't want to skip forward the actual. I don't want to.
We come back later in time.
Yeah, exactly. I want to bring you guys back.
Can I just stay here instead?
Oh man,
What?
Mm.
What?
Concord's parents would never let him hear the end of that.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
You
okay.
good?
I'll admit. So my reasons for this are relatively petty. I want to like bring you guys back with both of you having missed the date, desperate to make up for it, and have it be 2 days before Valentine's Day. Like, that's mostly for the lulz. And because of that, the fact that it then leaves Summer with approximately like 3 weeks and change to kind of have to step up, kind of thing. But that I don't know what to do then with Concord and that kind of thing. So that gets problematic in a hurry. Although I might, how much do I have to shift you guys to have you just miss the dates?
Probably about. Was yours this weekend, Harry?
I believe so.
So we were like Wednesday or so. So
Right.
4 or 5 days would probably do it.
Yeah, I think I probably won't do it because it's just a little bit too easy.
Oh no, Valentine's Day worked perfectly.
Yeah, but I mean that's fine for Summer, because then we can actually have Summer be taking place in that gap in the interregnum. I'm not sure that's the right phrase for it, but it's close enough and it's kind of amusing. But it doesn't tell me what to do with Concord in the meantime.
Concord has to figure out what mischief the other Concordance agents have gotten up to.
I have,
Hold on.
Have Mike play Super Chica for one session.
Well, you've got a session with Mike and Bill coming up, so
That's what I meant. Is since it would be
Yeah.
just Mike and Bill, it works fine to have Summer like have it be a session where it's like that time while everyone else is gone. It doesn't work for Concord though.
Hey,
Yes.
you are forgetting many of an important thing here.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Let me start off by saying you've seen Voltron season, or I was like, you've seen Voltron season 1, or yeah, the end of season 1. You have seen Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
If
Oh.
anything interrupts that time travel, and people arrive back at different points in time.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh. Oh, yes.
You have like 5 different ways to do this
Oh,
relatively
You're
well.
absolutely right. Oh my God, that's so funny.
That makes it even better why Adam has to team up with Summer.
That's really good. That's really, really
Yeah.
good. Is everyone kind of okay with that?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Repeat what that is again.
Mike has conveniently provided a way for Concord to arrive back at a different time than everybody else. Which
We kind of fall apart during travel.
yeah. So people will get back, and I'm totally gonna have Sablestar do this. Oh, better yet, Dr. Infinity. Yes.
Dr. Infinity is now interfering with my love life.
Hold on. So
I kind of want Sablestar to pop
Guys.
back out of a wormhole and just tackle you out of the time travel like stream.
no, actually that works perfectly because think about this for a second. That happens, everybody's like, "Holy shit!" and then Dr. Infinity then interrupts.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of metal. I will actually, I promise, write up what this scene looks like. But the gist of it is everybody lines up for the time thing. Bot's got it all wired out. You guys do it, and in the sort of streaky tunnel of light thing, the portal opens up, like kind of in the wall of this thing, and Sablestar comes through and actually looks almost as surprised as Concord when she crashes into him and they crash through like the other side of the wall of the thing. Which there's literally no mathematical way to express the odds that would actually happen by accident. So clearly somebody was doing something with it. And as you're having that thought, you can see outside of the tunnel this enormous Dr. Infinity looking down at your little time tunnel and reaching down to it and gripping the tunnel with like her hand. His hand.
Their hand.
Their hand.
Dr. Infinity is not someone I want to go up against it in any kind of circumstance. When I'm in a time tunnel and they are someone who bounces around time, that's even less.
This, I mean, aside from anything else, gives me the opportunity for A10 to come looking for Summer and Concord, demanding explanations for Harry's absence. Or wanting to, but at the same time not wanting to lower herself and lower her dignity to actually ask where the boy is who just stood her up.
Oh, no, she has perfect excuse. She can come say, "We haven't seen the menagerie in a while. Can you account for their status?" Well, why do you ask? Well, we were thinking of doing some training, Like, she has a million excuses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. We're absolutely doing it. Yeah.
And not just that, but let's think about this phone call for a second. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Gale, you remember when I almost screwed up your husband's brain? Well, I also got your son lost in time.
No, technically it's Alicia's fault.
I am going to have to.
Always Jason's fault.
There are now like a shotgun blast worth of little moments that I want to try to get to next session.
I am honestly terrified for when we finally get back.
And the best part is the thing you're terrified about is not what is Dr. Infinity going to do to us.
It's was elite or was Andy and our parents, and there's just no end to the badness. Mainly Andy.
There's going to be a tidal wave of mope coming off of the Quill compound too, because so yeah. No.
I'm not sure if sending Summer over there to comfort Jason would be better or worse.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Oh dear Lord, please make that happen.
That's so good.
In 4-panel cartoon, if nothing else.
That is so good. Honestly, you could probably do Alicia's scene with old Jason as a 4-panel cartoon. That would be just as, or a series of them.
You know, I will say this unabashedly. Bill has a remarkable ability to encompass so much around the characters in just 4 panels. So
yes. And so many lovely little facepalm moments. It's marvelous. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for letting me kind of meta brainstorm about that, because I had an idea about like kind of what I was hoping for, and I'm glad that everybody is on board in the sense of being pleasantly horrified by the prospect. So next session will be before your arrival back, and in that interim up at some like far enough out that people realize something's wrong, but it hasn't been like, it's not going to be 2 days, you know, like 2 minutes before you show back up. So during that gap, and we're gonna shift to Summer and Concord and other possible complications. So that'll be a thing. Cool.
All right, and we will see Leo off in 3 weeks. It sounds like.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll probably. So that'll be next week. The week after that will be, out for a number of different reasons. And then when we get back, everyone will get back, and there will be a lot of catching up to do, I think, probably. And we will see Leo off to whatever his next big project's going to be.
I'm actually kind of proud, because I found the one thing, and probably the only thing, that would ever make this kid retire from being a superhero, and we will see what that is.
Oh yeah.
I am really on tenterhooks, waiting to see the resolution of that.
I have suspicions, and
I
I'm
have
waiting to
suspicions too, but spoilers, sweetie.
Spoilers, sweetie.
I do have to note that in a parallel instant messaging conversation, James informed Margie that Alicia has doomed us all, and her response was, "Damn it, Jason."
How did Alicia doom us all?
Because she was the one who like Dr. Infinity stuff.
Ah, I see. To be fair,
Alicia torqued off Dr. Infinity, so it's all right. Never mind. Whatever.
Technically,
you know, if Alicia and Jason end up getting together, it will be because everyone thinks they're responsible for everything bad that happens. So you've been warned.
You were the one who caused the Dr. Infinity problem.
Technically,
I caused the Dr. Infinity problem.
No, technically,
right.
Technically, that's Charlotte. Dr. Infinity is in frame, and has been in frame since character generation by Charlotte. We're just finally.
But Charlotte is too nice to blame for anything.
It's just the problem is that while Dr. Infinity's been in frame this entire time, they are always like so macro that you can't actually see that you're like in the palm of the hand, because they're working at that level. All that, you know, yeah, but there's a lot of stuff with the whole interaction between the Sepiaverse and the Halcyon verse, and Dr. Infinity's well-documented dislike of Halcyon City and stuff like that, and it's all a great deal of it at their engineering. So we're finally getting to that bit. So, but yes, to be fair, Alicia may have provided a little bit of focal lensing for Dr. Infinity's specific ire. So,
And you know what? If I can actually have that effect on a being of that power and shenaniganness,
And
I
walk
take
away
that as a
from it.
compliment.
yeah, it's funny. Alicia finally starts to get, really build some confidence in her ability to play ball with the big boys by virtue of the logic of, if I can annoy Dr. Infinity, then I can play at this level. It's not about whether or not I can fight.
If I can mark her down in my nemesis column, I've got huge street cred.
Yeah. One of these days, we might actually have a spare breath to actually use some of your actual moves from your playbook that involve your shady side of the street stuff.
Wait, I have a playbook?
Yeah. Right. Well, to be fair, every advance you've taken so far has been moves from other playbooks, so it's kind of hard to tell.
All one of them so far.
Yeah, all one of them so far. All right. All right. We should probably do this. Alicia, I realize you're going to have to kind of base this somewhat off of stuff that happened on the forums,
Yes.
because I didn't spend a ton of time.
That makes perfect sense. I am going to say Alicia closer to the team.
Who are you giving?
And
Arya.
I've got to do Arya.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, actually, any of the Newmans except for maybe Leo would probably qualify.
You are so
for
far.
different reasons, but I'm going to say Arya.
You are so far in the pocket of the sentient robots right now.
I know. Ironic much?
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. So.
Plus Mundane minus Freak.
I think Arya had influence already from previous notes. Like, you had me write down by bot. I don't see her on here, but I'm pretty sure she got it. If you don't think that Arya already had influence, ignore that label shift.
I don't think Arya did. I think Summer did. I think Otto does. Maybe?
Otto has influence over Concord. Summer has, I marked it as both over Alicia and Jason. But if you don't think Arya did, then ignore that.
I'll let Dave call that. I don't think Arya did, but I could be very wrong about that. I know Summer did.
Arya, Summer, they're. It's so easy to mix them up. I'm willing to let to Arya shift my labels.
All right. That's
what
fair.
the hell.
What the hell? Okay, so Bill, one last time for Leo.
I'd have to stay glued to the image myself.
That's fair.
Nothing shifts because goddamn everything's locked.
That's fine. Mercury.
Closer to myself.
Closer to your own image of yourself? Yeah. Closer to,
That's because you've been spending all that time talking with yourself, and getting influence from yourself, and
it's not even closer to your own image of yourself, just closer to myself. My other self. Myself who isn't me. What?
I touch myself.
Dude, this game is so weird. Concord.
One moment.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like I already explained how I feel or how I see myself and shifted my labels.
Because he did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, if you want to, shift your mundane up even more. You can do a really, really good attempt to persuade.
Attempt to persuade Andy not to kill me when I get back?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this very oddly, as
Okay.
always.
Right.
JC, shift my labels.
JC shift my labels. Okay. She is going to. She is going to, well, if she can, because she's training you, she's not afraid of you, but she is going to shift your danger up. This is kind of like a dad shift. She's going to shift your danger up, and I don't think I can even do this, but shift your freak down.
Oh, you can totally do that.
All right, danger up, freak down.
They are now equal.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, because she's like, you gotta get body. The body carries the mind is powerful, but the body carries the mind around. You gotta work that thing. It's the hard drive for the processor, man. You gotta get in there, and she's got all these theories. You gotta. The one has to be fit for the other one to be fit. Blah blah blah. Anyway, is that everybody? I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
Except for Margie, and I don't know if we do that. I think maybe we don't do that because that's probably the player. So unless Margie wants to bounce back later and say that she, because of the triumph thing, she wants to do a grow closer to something, then, and she can just tell me, or you, or somebody. But we'll wait for that. Cool.
Coolness.
Weird session. We keep saying it's like weird session, but I don't know what a normal session would look like anymore. So maybe it'll be next session. Probably not. All right. So I'm pretty sure we already have a summer sheet somewhere, but we should probably make one. So Bill, I'll set something up here where we can get a proper summer sheet up here.
Yeah, if you could just make one at some point, I'll fill it in.
I will actually, give me 1 second here. Add character Summer Newman. All players' journals can be edited by Bill. Save changes, and we'll just put her right there. Oh, no. Plonk. All right. You should see her. Yep. So go to town. I think you can you do the thing where it actually upload the image for the person? Like go in there and when you do edit, click and do the avatar.
Yeah, I have all that.
Choose a file. I mean, just want to make sure the button's there for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. All right. That is it then. I look forward to, well, I always look forward to the next session, so.